This is an example of how I bring mindfulness into my studio. And I will play a little bit of it just to give you an example. In the meantime, if you notice, what do I have? This is for a girl who was a high school student. And this was actually, I think during the 2020, right when the pandemic was starting. And she noticed a lot of tension. So there are, if you notice, she also wrote, I wrote different affirmations and different reminders to help her to relax when she practiced. Like I said before, our minds, because we're human beings, our minds wander. So if she is conscious when she's practiced about pulling her attention to the music and thinking of the music as an anchor, that will help her to focus. Take deep breaths. Before she begins the piece, to take a deep breath. When you take a deep breath, what happens? I'm gonna just sit, taking a deep breath. What immediately happens? You can see it. Your shoulders go down. So that is a way of relaxing and reminding yourself, I'm relaxed, I'm okay. I also put down enjoy yourself. That answers Laura's why. Why are we doing this in the first place? I tend to have older students, and my older students are stressed out. They are extremely burdened by what's going on in school, all their work that they need to do. When they come into the lesson, what do they think of? They think of what they need to do, what they didn't do, what they have to do. So that way, when they come in, we do breathing, and I also remind them, why are we here? You're here to enjoy yourself. Put your attention on this page and practice that when you're at home, because that way you're bringing your attention to the music. When our thoughts go to things that we can't do, it's almost like there's no purpose of that thought. We want our thoughts to be constructive. That means we want our thoughts to help us, not hinder us. And then at the bottom, am I playing confidently? This is a question I ask my students. I ask all of them. It's a wonderful question because it has a positive, affirmative response. And the response is actually, I'm thinking in a more positive way as opposed to, is it good? Is it kind of good? It's a wishy-washy. Good can be very wishy-washy. Confident is very clear. Am I playing confidently? Yes or no? So yes is great, that means I could go on. No means, all right, what do I need to do? What do I need to strategize in order to play the section confidently? So you could say, all right, let me go over separate hands, let me play it slower, let me play it by maybe 2 measures at a time, let me play it on the lid, let me play it with my eyes closed. So that brings up a more positive way of your attitude, my students' attitude when they're practicing. See, practicing, if you think about it, how do we think of practicing, especially in the past? I would think of practicing as a burden. I wouldn't think of it as joyful. And that's what mindfulness is all about. Remembering what brings us joy and accepting whatever is happening so we can work through it to get to that thought, this brings me joy. So I'm just going to demonstrate a little bit of what my students would do. So it's like they're seeing the positive affirmations, they're taking a deep breath. Already they can feel they're relaxed, they can sense that their shoulders are relaxed. And you're like, okay, that's okay. Now how am I doing here? And at this point she was a little tense. So that's why I said, okay, when you do this, do the separate hands and breathe while you're doing it. So when you repeat it over and over again, and then it can flow with your breath, flowing and playing in a flowing way. And again, thinking of it as I'm doing this because I'm enjoying myself.